Welcome to another tutorial by Loom and Looney. Today's tutorial is going to be on my originally designed butterfly dash bracelet. It is a reversible design. Get some more light. This is what it looks like on the front side. And this is what it looks like on the other side. This bracelet was done with the rainbowloom.com medieval ocean bands, medieval purple bands, medieval rose pink bands, and the ones that I used for the dashes were the silk pearl red bands. And I also used the Persian ocean bands for some of the butterfly parts. And this one was done with the rainbowloom.com jelly bands, purple, yellow, and the tie-dye turquoise and purple tie-dye. And this one was done with the opaque pastel teal, pastel pink, and pastel blue and gray. This one was done on one loom with an extension. And these two were done with 2 looms to make the full wrap. The one we'll be doing today will be a jelly version, and I'll be using 2 looms. So supplies you will need today, of course, are your bands and at least 1 loom. I'll be using 2, your hook, and of course a C-clip. So you'll be laying all your bands for this design simultaneously as you go down the loom. And we're going to start with our octagon bands. So you're going to start by laying an octagon shape first. And for that I'll be using my purple bands. So we're going to go from left to right. And from the middle to the right. Left up, on the right up, and then in on both sides. And then we're going to lay an X going from corner to corner on both sides. And that's going to be what turns out to be our butterflies. And so for that, I'm going to use my turquoise and pink or purple tie-dye bands. So we're going to lay our X across. And then we're going to lay a vertical band, which is what's going to turn out to be our X, or our dash, excuse me. And for that, I'm going to use my pink jelly. So we're going to go on. Let me show you what that looks like. I'm sorry. And that's what it's going to look like. So we laid our octagon first. And then our X. And then our vertical band. So we're going to go to our next octagon. Maybe that's a better view. We're going to go to our next octagon. We're going to lay our octagon bands. Then we're going to lay our X bands, which is my tie-dye. And then we're going to lay our bands, which is going to be what comes out to be our dash, which is my pink. So that's what you should have so far. And we're going to move on to our next octagon. We're going to lay those bands. And then we're going to lay our X. And then we're going to lay our vertical band. And you want to keep these bands pushed down, especially in the center, on the center pegs, because at the end here, we are going to have to lay cap bands down the center. And now we're going to do our next octagon. I was debating on whether or not to just do one loom today for length of the video. Try not to make it so long, but then I feel like I'm cheating you guys out of doing the full length bracelet. So I decided to go ahead and do the 2 looms. This is a pretty easy design, so it shouldn't take too long. Go on to our next octagon. This bracelet works up pretty quickly. And it is reversible. Lay our X bands. Oh, that one popped off. And our vertical bands. Laying our next octagon. Sorry if you hear the background noise of the heater. It's pretty chilly here today, even for South Carolina. Lay out our X band. Go on to our next octagon. And our X band. And And our vertical band. To our next octagon. Oops. These jelly bands love to pop off and go flying on me today for some reason.
What?
Laying our X bands, and then our vertical band. Going on to our next octagon. Oops, got an extra band there. Laying our X band. And our vertical band. And moving right on to our next octagon. This is a pretty easy design. I really enjoyed making this one, or designing this one, I should say. Again, trying to keep those bands pushed down, especially in the center, because we have to go back and do cap bands. Moving on to our next octagon. And our X bands. Next octagon. And that's our last octagon, actually. And our last vertical band. Okay. And this is what it should look like so far. This is what you should have. And actually, I was mistaken. This is the wrong design I was thinking of. You don't place cap bands all the way down the center. You just have to place a cap band in the center peg at the bottom when we go to loop it. So we're going to turn our loom around. And we're going to place a cap band on the center peg here. And the only bands that get looped in this whole design are the octagon bands that we place down. So we're just going to loop those octagon bands now. We're going to go into that cat band and just start looping our octagon bands back onto themselves. That's all we're gonna do. Oops, that is the wrong one. That's all we're gonna do is loop those octagon bands that we laid back onto themselves. You just want to make sure that you go in and get into all of those bands and just loop them out. That's all you're doing is looping those octagon bands. You just want to make sure you get down in when you go into the middle. I don't know if you can see. When you go into the middle, you want to make sure you get behind that pink band that you laid to grab a hold of those middle bands so that you can loop them out. Because that's what's going to make your dashes for your bracelet. And your X bands that you laid are what's going to make the wings of your butterfly. So you want to make sure you get behind that pink band in the center. To loop those octagon bands. And sometimes it is hard to get behind that pink band in the center. I think I grabbed the wrong band. Let me get that back in there. If you grab the wrong band like I did, you can get it back on there and just twist it around down in there. It'll go back into place usually. Let me try it again. Back in behind that pink band. And there, I grabbed the right one that time. Don't want to grab that pink one, which is what I was getting ready to do. Oops, bumped my camera. This band is being weird for some reason, and I don't know why. Okay. Now I think I've got it fixed. Okay. Back to what we were doing. Sorry about jiggling the camera. I had an issue I was trying to fix. Alright. Okay, now. Again, we gotta get behind that pink band in the center. Grab those other bands. And loop them out. Fuck. We're just looping those octagon bands onto themselves. And just trying to make sure we get in behind those bands like we're supposed to. Grabbing the top bands and looping them out. Sorry about all the background noise. My cat and my dog are going loopy for some reason. Okay. Keep looping those octagon bands. Oops, got snagged on a band there. Looping those bands back onto themselves. And get behind that center pink band. There we go. Like so. I loop those to the center instead of forward like a dummy. Okay, wondered what I did there. There we go. Now we're cooking. Okay, those go to the center. Couldn't figure out why I couldn't find that center, and then I got sidetracked, I guess. Hard to keep your concentration when you got things going crazy around you. Okay. And then those go out. And those go forward. And those go to the middle. And then we get behind the center. Grabbing that top band, pulling it out to the side, grabbing that other band and pulling it out to the side. We're on our last octagon. Pulling that forward. Pulling that side band forward. And pulling the last two bands to the center. And then we're just going to take a band the same as your border band. I'm going to use, of course, purple. And I'm going to go down through all those bands on the end. Pull one single band up through, like so. And just attach a C-clip to it. And then I'm going to start taking my bracelet off the loom. I'm going to release that middle band, like so. And then I'm just going to start taking it off sides first with my hook. I'm just going to start releasing the sides. Then I'm going to go down the middle. And release everything in the middle. And this is what your bracelet should look like. This is what one side will look like. And this is what the other side will look like. And that's how you make my butterfly dash bracelet. Thanks for joining me for another tutorial. Remember, hit the thumbs up if you liked the video. Subscribe to my channel and follow me on Instagram at LumenLooney2020. Thanks again. See you next video.